sit, enjoy in the shade.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Drink the drink that I have made.
Hey, brother, pour the wine.
Welcome, everybody, to Drink in the Style, brought to you by Habitation Furnishing and Design and the District Edina. I'm your host, Gregory Charles Rich. Thought I'd throw that one in very quickly. My guest this evening is interior design and staging expert Leah Jones from LJ Interiors. Leah, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm excited. We
Yeah,
got to
me
know
too.
each other at an event at the district not long ago. We'll talk a little bit about it. And and you were so wonderful. We had to bring you on to talk about some stuff.
Perfect.
We also have a special bonus treat. None other than the lovely and fabulous Bethany Reed Peterson is back with us. Bethany, how you doing?
I'm well, guys. Thanks for having me on this side of the mic. Doing the coctology.
Doing the coctology.
Yeah.
Leah, we're going to have you back at some point if you're willing to do the coctology because we like to rotate now our mistress or master of the coctological arts.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Well,
Yeah.
let's get through the podcast and
Right.
see if you still feel that way in about an hour.
Right.
All right. So, Bethany, you have cooked up something like insanely cool for this insanely hot day.
It is. Well, it's like 95 degrees today.
I hate to complain.
know.
But oh my God, it's so hot.
It is so hot. So yes, I have a delicious cocktail for us with a base of mezcal and tequila. It's called the Oaxaca Night, and it is perfect for a steaming hot day like this.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're probably going to burn through a lot of those today, aren't we?
I think we will.
I know. Even if it's air conditioned, you can still feel the heat outside.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, in that case, Johnson, let's play our mixing music. And Bethany, tell us what to do.
All right, so we've got a few things happening here. Firstly is we've got, actually I'm going to start off with our mixers. Took the liberty of doing some honey syrup
Oh, my goodness. All right.
and lime juice, fresh lime juice. So I juiced this like maybe an hour ago.
Oh,
something
my
like
God. Good for you.
So
We got
you
in trouble
got-
last week for using bottled lime.
that. You got in trouble for what?
Using the little spritz wine. Or a lime, rather. I knew that I shouldn't, but God, did I ever get called out.
Yeah, so we've got 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice per 2. I'm just gonna do, because I'm not a bartender by any means, I'm gonna just do this all in measures of 4, because we've got 4 of us here.
That's right, because our illustrious producer, Brett Johnson,
That's right.
always drinks with us.
All right, so that's our lime juice, fresh lime juice, which lasts up to 10 hours after it's been freshly squeezed. Just a little fun fact.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Indeed.
Then what happens to it? Does it become poison?
It starts to oxidize a bit too much. Okay, so now I'm doing honey syrup, which is 3-to-1 honey and water.
Okay.
You just mix that, honey and hot water, I should say. So you just mix that up I do it in a jar with a little bit of hot water, and it lasts up to 5 days in the fridge.
Fabulous.
So the trick with this cocktail is to pre-mix, or no, I'm sorry, not to pre-mix, to prepare your ingredients ahead of time.
Makes sense. You don't want to let it sit there while you are adding water to your honey and all that other nonsense.
Exactly. So there's that. Now we've got, this calls for Del Maguey or Del Maguey, Maguey,
Okay.
Vita, Mezcal,
We'll call that. Okay, that works.
which if you're not familiar with Mezcal, it's quite smoky and delicious.
Mezcal is the stuff right now. Everybody is loving mezcal.
So
and
this
tequila.
is 1 ounce of Mezcal per drink.
Okay. Do.
So I got 2, we got 4 going in.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my mouth is literally watering on this.
All right.
Okay.
So I want to know, how do bartenders like sit there and like talk with their patrons when they're pouring drinks? This is actually, you have to like really be able to
Pay
multitask.
attention. Yeah.
Right.
Pay attention, especially if you're not great with your ratios.
Maybe that's why some drinks are a little stiffer than others.
That's
because
right.
They're not paying attention.
That's a
We'll
good
find
point.
out.
Actually, that's kind of brilliant. I just realized if you watch them make it, distract them for a little bit, and then go back and say, oh, I think you forgot to put in the vodka.
All right, and then second to last, we've got Tequila Blanco, and this one I'm using is Espolón, I believe. Espolon. Is that right? Am I reading that correctly?
I believe you are.
Yeah.
I believe you are. And that is a good tequila. Enjoy it. It is 100% agave. I don't know if it's blue agave or agave.
Is 100% agave. It doesn't say if it's blue agave. And I don't know my tequila, so don't quiz me on that one. And then lastly, we've got Angostura. So you've got a few shakes per cocktail. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Alrighty. And then add your ice and we shake away.
And we shake away the wonderful theater segment of the show with that awesome sound coming through. By the way, regarding the bartenders, as I think it strikes me as though it's kind of like pianists and things, right? I mean, how the hell do people play the piano and do anything else? Maybe sing, but they do.
It takes a lot of concentration.
I think you just got to have a different part of your brain that is firing simultaneously.
Right.
I'm going to try the stolen drink concept, though. It's possibly brilliant. Or maybe it won't be. And of course, Bethany's going to shake it until we have a nice frosty coating.
Frosty. So the another trick is that you shake a drink until you can no longer shake it because your hand's too cold.
Oh, fair enough.
Did you know that? Interesting little fact
It
for the
is
home bartender.
See, once again, I've said it before.
right.
We are an informational show. We are educational.
Uh-oh, Greg. Might need your help on this. Can't get the top open. There we go.
On the spot. Here we go.
Boom.
Voila.
Thank you, sir.
Massive
All right.
hands.
Say she loosened it, right?
Yeah. All right, and we are pouring these into coupe glasses.
Oh, do you know what I forgot on this first round? On the next one, I'll do what you actually do is I forgot to do you add a 2-inch shaving or a twist of grapefruit.
Yeah. The
for
giant
each-
orange thing.
Yeah, the giant orange thing that Greg's like, what is that thing? So you know what I'll do instead for the time? I'll just do a garnish.
Oh, fair enough.
There you go.
All right. So,
right,
and
let's-
once, sorry, go ahead, Bethany.
Well, I was gonna say, we've got a couple rounds here.
Fabulous. Because you know what? Again, hot day, we're going to need them. And Johnson, let's test your memory. What is the history of the coupe glass?
Oh.
Uh-oh. I don't think I was paying attention in class.
Oh, my God. Do you know, Leah?
No, I was going to say, what class do you learn this in?
Drinking the Style, 102, 101.
Right, I guess.
201, you're exactly right. Bethany, do you recall or are you familiar with the coupe?
Yeah, the coupe glass was fashioned, if you will, after the breasts of Marie Antoinette.
That is correct. That is correct, which, again, Newkirk, the late, great Newkirk, may he rest in peace, who's not dead yet, but still, these should rest in peace. I think it's a perfectly nice thing to say. Brought that bit of information to us, and I thought that was fascinating.
And now you know.
And now you know.
Now you know.
I just want to know how many, measurings the glass blower required in order to get it perfectly correct. All right. And you are garnishing with
so in the actual drink calls for the garnish to actually be in the shaker, but we forgot that. So
Fair.
Haven't even started drinking and I'm already forgetting things, guys.
Well, the next round we'll try it. Now we'll have a comparison, an A and B.
Exactly.
All right. And again, the color is orange. They are very, very attractive. And
That table's clean enough. There
It's
we go.
fine.
It's fine.
alcohol kills
All right.
everything.
There you are, my dear.
All right.
And then here is Mr. Johnson's. And then that's...
And he'll be in just a second. But until then, he will simply cue up the swallowing music. And we'll give this a try.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud. Oh my God, it's delicious.
That's delicious.
That is, Bethany, well done.
Fantastic.
Well done. Did you
you.
try this before you came and did it on the show, or was this a...
Oh, yeah.
You've
It's
done
one
this
of
in the
my
past?
favorites. And I was, because I was trying to make sure that I got it right on the show, which almost did it.
Yes.
I had to make lots of them this week, you guys.
You are a trooper.
Yes.
A trooper. That's fabulous. All right, let's go next to our, this week, it's a pretty random question that I like to bring in. So you ready? Here we go. Leah, have you ever sung karaoke?
I have.
All right.
Yes.
What song did you sing?
So I sang a lot, but I think my favorite and my go-to is Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh
It's
my
just a
God.
good, it's a good hit. It's a popular, everybody can sing along. I think everybody has a memory kind of associated with it. So it's just a classic.
Where the Skies Are So Blue.
Right?
Could you
Right?
sing it like without the lyrics if you had
I
to?
probably, if I had music, yes. Not the lyrics, but yes, I could probably sing it. So I won't today. I'll save everyone their ears, but I could.
I was
could.
tempted to ask. But
Yeah.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah.
All right, good for you. What about you, Bethany? What do you? What's your karaoke song?
Oh, my karaoke. Oh, that's such a tricky one. Do you know what? I'm going to cheat on this one, and I'm going to say "To Be Real," which is the song that I said was my.
To Be Real. That was your theme
To
song.
Be Real. Yeah, my theme song.
Good for you. All right.
Because, why not? It's disco and fun.
Good. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Johnson, we should probably take a break and head into our commercial. When we come back, we're going to be talking about, we're going to start by talking about staging, I think.
Okay, that sounds great.
Stick around, ladies and gentlemen, and try this cocktail. It's amazing.
To the Mississippi. Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships.
Welcome back to Drink in the Style. Oh, Beyond the Sea, being sung by Helen Shapiro, the oft overlooked Helen Shapiro. She is a really talented, smoky, kind of a transitional artist in the 50s, from kind of the crooners to kind of the pop music. And if you ever look at her, it's hysterical. She's got this giant beehive on a couple of her albums, and I mean, she fits 100%. We are talking with Leah Jones from LJ Interiors. So, Leah, tell us about your firm.
So I have been in business for about 4 years. So I typically work with clients that are just kind of renovating their homes. They're kind of tired of their homes and they're just looking for kind of a facelift, a fresh look and feel. It's certainly something that has come up, during the pandemic, and that people were at home and they're stuck basically, and they're noticing things, and they say, ugh, I don't like this space now that I'm actually here and watching it over and over and over. And because I think, you kind of live in your house, but you don't really pay attention to your house often. So
It's true.
yeah, so that has really picked up, over the last couple of years. But essentially, it's just kind of helping people give, again, their house just like a facelift, if you will. So it could be through paint, it could be through furniture, carpet, flooring, kitchen remodels, the whole spiel basically. But just kind of wherever they are looking to update in their homes. So
Sure.
yeah.
And it's true. I mean, everybody has been home, as we've said. And you know
Yeah.
what? How many times, can you look at that god-awful brown reclining chair that you could overlook for the past
Right.
15 years? So, yeah, and the business has gone crazy. Now, you also, of course, do staging.
Yeah, so I started my business actually as a stager just because it was kind of like, well, this is how I can get into the business, work with real estate agents. And I just really love helping people in their homes, honestly. So whether they're staying or whether they're going, but just having or helping people kind of find things to do in their home to kind of get them ready either for sale or for their future in their homes. But with the staging, it's just kind of like giving them a checklist of or to-do list basically that just is going to help them get their home prepared and ready for photos, because as they say, you give about 7 seconds, to a home as you're looking online. And so if something doesn't capture you right away, you're not going to flip to the next picture, and then you're also not going to want to go into the house and actually see what they have to offer. So, so it's really important, to kind of set your home apart from others, and just make sure that people are really, getting their eyes on yours and setting it apart from the things that, or the other homes, in the neighborhood. So, and, with interest rates just increasing recently and things, it's just real volatile right now. Just we don't know what's going to happen. So it's really, really important to make sure that we're doing the most, for our home and that we're presenting it in a way that looks like we've taken care of it and that, it's not our home anymore. It's a home for somebody else to buy and start their life. And so there's a lot of tips and tricks and things that I help people with, like during a consultation, to kind of get them to start to detach from their home, and they then don't believe or they don't kind of think, that it's theirs anymore, that they're just kind of setting it up, for somebody else to kind of look at it. So
that's actually kind of brilliant because one of the big problems I know that stagers, and Habitation actually did a bit of staging back in its earliest days, but it's difficult to go in and tell people that their house must be changed so that other people find it attractive.
Right.
But by framing it in that way, this isn't for you. I mean, it's fabulous. You did everything. But for other people, we need to make these changes no matter, how much you love it.
Right.
Well framed.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important because it is a very psychological thing. It's even if it's just like changing a paint color or something like that, it's not your home anymore. So changing things like that will just appeal to the broader audience is going to be what gets the most eyes on your home. And it's sometimes very difficult, especially if people have been in their home for 20 and 30 and 40 years. They've raised families. There's a lot of memories, associated to it. So,
and I'm so sorry, but those family photos have to come down.
And that's just it. It's not that we don't love your family photos, but we need to make sure that when a buyer comes in, it's that they see it as a potential for it to be their home and to make their memories, and not like, oh, well, Jimmy and Sally live here, and this is how they grew up in this home. So we need to make sure that that is not a part of the equation. So
I can, 100%. I mean, your Aunt Gertie was a very handsome woman,
yes.
but this is probably not the message we want to convey.
Right.
So with the majority of your clients then, are you saying that you work with their existing furniture and pieces, or you're bringing in new pieces?
So it actually depends, and it's a part of the relationship that I have with the agent that I'm working with. And I wouldn't even say that it's 50-50. It really just depends on the home, how much work they have done, how much time I have. Sometimes I have like 2 days. It's, can you come in? Can you do a consultation? Can you let them know what they need to do? And we're going to have photos and list it in 2 days. So you have to be reasonable. You have to give them a list of things that are like action items that they can get done and that are going to make the most impact. If we do have a little bit longer of a time, it might be paint or carpet or countertops or whatever it might be. So it really just depends. And then there's also situations where the homeowners have moved out. So in that respect, then it would be a total vacant. So we would bring in furniture. We would bring in all the things that make it look like a home. We set up, kind of the vignettes to just say, like, in this area, this is what you could do, and especially like in flex spaces that might be an office or a playroom or, things like that. So we just need to kind of demonstrate what a space is used for, making sure that people understand, how furniture fits, because there's a lot of people that just don't see that or can't see that.
Most people, they don't have imaginations. I mean, that's why turnkey houses,
Right.
I mean, you're foolish if you don't. I mean, if you have a house that is not turnkey and you're trying to sell it, well, you know what,
Especially right
honestly,
now.
give me a call, because you're not going to get the price that you would get once it is turnkey. Right. So I'll buy it, and I'll have you come in and make it beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about
Right.
merchandise, though? I mean, it's so hard to find. Where are you getting?
It's tricky. I mean, obviously, things that are custom, those are just going to take longer. And that's a lot, a conversation that I have with people right away is just basically what's your threshold? Like how long are you willing to wait? But there are some retailers that you can, go in and kind of swoop up, a set of chairs or a table or a lamp or whatever. I certainly have inventory that can kind of offset that as well, that, I can rent to people. But it's just something that you have to be very diligent about and make sure that you have things to offer to people, whether it's a rental situation or a purchase situation. But it's tricky. The supply chain is tricky right now.
It's a mess.
So
I mean,
it's a mess. It's a
really
mess.
is.
And yeah.
I mean, it's nice
So-
in that, you're picking out things. These are not things that the homeowner is necessarily going to keep. This is
Correct.
not stuff that's staying. So you have to make it attractive. That's the
Yes.
whole concept.
Yes.
But
Yep.
you don't have to worry about, the details that would normally come with an interior design project.
Right. It doesn't have to be a specific style. It just has to kind of, like I said, resonate and, appeal to the broad audience.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the whole thing. You don't, I mean, it's, so let me ask you that. I mean, when you come in and you do a project, are you, what's the level of risk that you are willing to take? Are you basically just trying to avoid making it look too unusual? Does it have to be non-objectionable overall? Or can you go in and create a little bit of style?
Yeah, how neutral does it have
Oh,
to be? which I know-
absolutely.
That's the word I was
mean,
struggling to find. Thank you.
I know, it's like, everything
Yes.
has to be neutral, but I
Yes.
sometimes think, and please correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but
yeah.
sometimes I think, and depending upon the house,
It
sometimes
absolutely.
neutral isn't not that you want to go crazy,
It's
but
not the right.
it's not always
Yes.
the right thing for
Right,
the
exactly.
specific house.
Exactly. And I think that there are, if there are rooms or spaces in the home that you really want to play up, whether it's architecture, whether it's stained glass windows, those kinds of things, you definitely want to emphasize those. You start with a neutral foundation, so sofas, chairs, things like that. But then you accessorize, with pillows and throws and artwork and kind of have like a color theme, throughout the house so that as you start in this room, you see blue and then you go into the kitchen and you see blue. So you really want to start to kind of meander the house to like what other blue elements am I going to find? So I definitely think that you should incorporate some color or a color palette, in a home, but just to kind of have lay that foundation, that neutral foundation, just because then you see the house and you don't see the stuff in the house and you see the space.
Good point.
You see the architecture, you see the windows and that kind of thing. So that's kind of the art of staging is that it isn't design, but there are some design elements, that you incorporate just because, again, you don't know if it's going to be a 50-year-old couple, with kids that are off to college, or you don't know if it's a new family that's coming to the neighborhood. You kind of have an idea based on where the house is and in the neighbors and stuff like that. But you just kind of want to appeal to the broad demographic, basically. So, so not too specific.
That does make a lot of sense, but it still gives you a little bit of latitude because
Absolutely.
If it looks too generic, well
Right.
then you're not
can't
accomplishing
imagine.
what you want to do.
Yeah, like so if you're the home buyer, then it's too generic, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Then it's like I can't see myself
Right.
in this space.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, you just kind of put your own flair on it, but at the same time, just keeping it so it's not fussy, that it doesn't draw too much attention to it. But you again just want to see more of the house.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you have how many? I mean, generally speaking, have you ever had a client that like you've completely staged something and now everything's consistent and it looks beautiful, and now have they come back and said, "Do you
don't
know what? My
wanna
house looks beautiful. I don't want to sell it because now it's finally put together."
Yes, that happens actually a lot, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
So
it
the
does.
love it or list it thing, they'll
A
actually
little bit.
suddenly
I
they
mean,
love it?
Obviously, they never stay, because that wasn't why I was brought in there. But yes, I mean, it's more of I love my house, but it's honestly more of I never thought to do that. I never thought I could put that chair there. I never thought I could put this up on the mantle. I mean, whatever it is, but it's just like when you see something one way and only one way, and it's for over time, you can't see it any other way.
Absolutely true.
You know what I mean? So when I come in, or just a stager in general would come in, they have a different perspective. They haven't lived in this house for 15, 20 years, or even 5 years sometimes, but they can just see things different. And, it's a spatial thing that they say, oh, well, if you put this by the window and this by the fireplace, then it'll just look completely different and the flow will be different and all of these things. But the homeowner just can't imagine it any other way than how it is. So yes, that does happen actually a lot. Or just, I really love that piece, or where can I get that, or can I buy that from you? So it's just like, just introducing some life into their house that just wasn't there before.
Fresh energy.
Yeah, fresh energy. I mean, one of the the biggest things that I tell people is just like put green plants in their home, like fresh or faux. It doesn't matter. It just brings life into their home. It feels like a finished space.
Yeah.
And it feels like a space that they really want to stay in. So,
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. All right. Well, we should take another quick break. And I want to ask you when you get back, if you've ever been hired to just go in and just redo someone's house. But don't say anything yet, but we'll get into that in just a second. This is Drink in the Style. I'm Gregory Rich. We'll be back in a moment.
Completely.
That's fun.
Yes.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever.
Welcome back to Drink in the Style. That is a great cover of Fever, isn't it?
It's a great cover.
I know.
Great cover on a great day.
It is a great cover on a great day. When you're drinking this much, every day is a great day.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're in air conditioning.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what? I think Fever will be my karaoke song. I'll probably never sing karaoke again, but that will be a great song, if I could.
Whoa. You're never going to sing karaoke?
Yeah,
Nobody-
right?
That's an absolute,
Right?
Greg.
I didn't say, I said I probably.
Oh,
we can go to
sure.
the tape
All right.
if we need to.
Okay, fine.
But I don't even
It
know where
probably
anyone
never will.
does
Yeah,
karaoke
probably
anymore. Never know how much I love you. Never. Okay, sorry. So this is Drink in the Style. You may be listening to us on Saturday, in which case it's like 7:30 right now, I bet. Or Sunday, it could be like 5:30. But most likely, you've downloaded us as a podcast. And if you have, and you have not given us a 5-star review, honestly, hang your head in shame. Hang your
it.
head in shame.
Do
It's
it
the
now.
least you can do after all of this hard work that my liver has put in. I mean, the toll on my body that I go through. All right, back to our conversation with Leah Jones. Leah, all right, we met just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Actually, at the RISA event that you held at the district at Dinah, and that is an organization of which you are a part. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so RISA is the Real Estate and Staging Association, and they have been around since 2007. So basically, it's an organization, it's a nonprofit organization that was formed so that stagers and designers basically have kind of a set of rules, you know, that sets them apart. You know, it's like a professional trade organization that we have guidelines that we follow so that it's not just your group of hobbyists, you know, that like to make houses look pretty. It's actually business owners that they're doing this, you know, to make money, but they're also doing it because that there are a set of like rules and standards that we follow, and there's a mission statement, and you know, all of these things that basically we want to set ourselves apart, you know, from others that are just kind of doing this as something that they enjoy. And we want to kind of make sure that the agents that we work with are understanding that this is, you know, something that really does basically, give them some credibility, you know, so that we work with them, we partner with them. We are an extension of their team. You know, we don't necessarily work with them or work for them, but we're an extension of their team so that there's this level of professionalism that we bring to the table. They're working with their clients to get their homes, you know, prepared, you know, for the market. But we're also working with these clients also to kind of revamp, refresh their homes, you know, so maybe they've bought a house and they're in it and now they're like, what do I do with this space? Like, how do I make it my own? So yeah, it's been around, you know, for definitely a long time. But it's important that, you know, when agents work with a stager, that they are credible, you know, that they are like certified, kind of licensed, that they've gone through some training, that they know what they're doing. And it's not just, well, I think,
Right.
or maybe you should, or, and definitely there's a lot of it that is just like a feeling, you know, that there is a lot of that, but also this is the why, and we can explain the why ROI behind it, you know? And so there's a lot of statistics. Like if you stage your home, then it sells faster. Or if you stage your home, then it's going to net you more money, you know? So it's going to be fewer days on the market. There's a lot of statistics behind staging and just the value around it. So RISA as an organization just kind of, brings this group of individuals together, and we are like-minded. We're all individual business owners, and we're all striving kind of for the same thing, you know? So there's that, we're not competing with one another. We know that there's enough, people, there are enough people, there is enough business to kind of go around, essentially.
So you may as well collaborate and have
absolutely
a mission statement and a code of ethics. Because that's, there are a lot of companies out there that, are basically not dealing with things on the total up and up.
Right.
And have created all this nonsense.
Right.
You guys clearly are. And at the group, when I met the group, I mean, this was a fabulous group of people that were in there. And then when you had the event also, you guys did something that actually has been happening more and more at the district, which is the headshots that you were giving out.
Yes. So that was fabulous. So it was our monthly meeting. And so our monthly meetings, we go to different places, and it's more like our theme this year is just kind of growth, business, like how are we growing our business? And so we want to make sure that our members are being introduced to people and places and, just things like kind of in the market that can help them grow their business. So whether they're a stager, whether they're a designer, it doesn't matter because there's a lot of crossover. So we had our monthly meeting, it must have been like our May meeting in your showroom and in the space. And then we had some headshots. And so basically the headshots portion of it was just that, we're professionals. Like we need to have something that, looks like us, feels like us. And it was just a great backdrop, to be able to use your showroom.
Thank you.
But it was great just because it was like something that, we could use for our email signature or our social media, or just to say like, we are legit, instead of like, hey, can you take my phone and snap a quick snapshot
Right.
with me?
Passport style.
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly. So we worked with Caroline Ellingbo, and
she's amazing.
She's
by the
amazing,
way.
and she has, she has both the photography and she does digital marketing and stuff. So she works with a lot of clients like that. But she came in and she took our photos, and it was just amazing. And she just made everybody feel super comfortable and relaxed.
Really
and
talented. And the nice thing is that you can go, through Habitation, through the lounge area. There are different backgrounds.
And different vignettes
what a
to kind of
space for headshots. And that kind
because
of thing.
not every one of our businesses is the same, nor do we have like the same kind of clientele. So to have like a different backdrop that represents like our style of business, I resonated with one of them like immediately, because it was like, that's my client. Those are the types of clients that I work with, and these are the pieces or these are the things that I could see, working well in their home.
You.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
reflects your style.
Exactly. So
and I should say,
I loved that.
We loved as well. We've had a couple of organizations now who have done this, and she has done the same shoes, because she is literally one of the best people I've ever seen at doing this.
Yes.
She's fabulous.
She just makes everybody feel comfortable, and she's good at kind of guiding you, because when you have like professional photos taken, it's so uncomfortable. It's so awkward. It's where do I put my hands? How do I stand?
Right.
And she's just do this, do that, move that. It's just super great.
Sorry, remind me the name of the photographer.
So she's Caroline Ellingbo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Ellingbo Photography, I think, .com. Is that the...
Yeah.
She's
amazing.
If that's not it, give me a call. I'll make sure I refer you to her, because she is worthwhile.
Yep.
But and again, I'm sorry, I have to plug any organizations that would like to put together an event like that and come in and use the Habitation showroom and the District Edina Lounge.
Yes.
We are more than happy to accommodate you.
Yeah.
But you made a great point on that, and that is that you picked a vignette that really reflects who your clientele is.
Yes.
And the truth is, you do staging, and that's an important part of your practice, but the design aspect is enormously important as well.
It's near and dear to my heart. I grew up, my dad was an estimator, so I was around blueprints, from a wee little age, if you will. But I love homes, and I just love kind of how different each home is and how it reflects the homeowners. And if it doesn't, let's get it to reflect
exactly.
you,
you've got to have a certain level of psychological insight as a designer.
Yes.
Bethany, you know this as well. Atelier Reed is a phenomenal design practice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And you guys need to understand. I'm not a designer. I say this all the time, which is great because it allows me to brag about the building design without sounding arrogant. Well, I always sound arrogant, but because Carl did pretty much the entire thing, and I can enjoy puffing that up.
It's fabulous.
It's because of his magical hair.
Yes.
I love Carl's magical, gorgeous hair.
Right.
And of course, Carl, if you're listening, of course, it's because your design is amazing, but I just have a crush on your hair, too.
All right, he has amazing hair.
He does have amazing hair.
When I first hired him, he had short hair. And then during COVID, he grew it out.
Of course he did, because no one could get their hair cut.
Exactly.
Right.
But this is an interesting thing that I think that stagers, people who are stagers as well as designers, that is a really tough task because you want to talk about a level of psychology that's there. So it's like we were saying before, when you're staging, you're designing for someone who's going to move into your home and it's no longer your home. Whereas when you're designing, you're designing for the person who is there. So
Yes.
it's almost like you're playing psychologist to your client.
Oh,
as well.
it is, and it's so funny because not that they will come out and say it, but I am sort of a marriage counselor also. When I work
Designers
with the designers,
always are.
and I love it, and I really don't. It's really not a big deal, and I love the clients that I work with and the relationships that I have with them. But it's different. It's totally different, and it's very personal. Like design is very personal, whereas staging is.
Literally, you're looking at an imaginary client, essentially, versus trying to reflect and create something that's absolutely beautiful for
You just don't know.
So do you have, I know you can work with almost any style. The point is that you talk to the client and you understand what they want.
Yeah.
And again, the skills that people don't understand that a designer really has is not in picking the particular pieces of furniture. The skills are in balancing a room. The skills are in making sure that everything is cohesive.
Right.
Nevertheless, do you have a style that's particularly close to your heart?
It's probably something that's totally made up. It's like HTV, they just throw out this word and that word. It's contemporary comfortable is honestly what I say.
I like that.
Because it's a little bit more modern, but it's also come sit on my furniture. Let's have a conversation. Throw the pillows on the floor if you want. That's totally fine. And it is, again, totally made up. But that's kind of what I sometimes feel design is. It's just this word and that word, and we're going to mash it up, and we're going to try and throw it all together. But
that's a great description because contemporary is not generally comfortable.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem with contemporary furniture.
Right. When I say when I tell clients modern, I say I don't mean acrylic. There's a place for acrylic,
although people understand how fragile acrylic furniture is.
Yes,
right.
but
you're not designing the apartment in American Psycho.
Right, exactly. And so when you yes, exactly. So you have to
Are you a psycho? Do you want your room designed? Call Elvin.
Right. So you have to have a little bit more of a story when you use certain words, and it's modern. But this and that, so that's kind of what my style is that I literally want people to come through the doors of my house and sit down and be comfortable.
Yes.
That's what I want.
But you know how hard that is? And for
it's
anyone
super hard.
Because we're all, in the design world, but for anyone
yes.
who's listening that is not in the design world, they're starting the design, that's really difficult to achieve.
It is.
A room that not only looks fabulous.
Yes.
and contemporary.
Yes.
But also when you sit down on the furniture, you actually want to have a gorgeous cocktail or a cup of coffee or whatever. You want to hang about a while.
Right.
That's an art form unto itself.
Right. Well, and that it's okay if you have pets or if you have children or if you have a life, because that's so many of the clients that I work with is just that we're busy, we have this going on, there's just so many components, and it's just like I just need a space for my kids to crash.
Mm-hmm.
And but look nice.
But make it work.
But make it work,
that's
and
the
it
thing.
has to
Pandemic
be
puppy to
yes,
shoot things up.
yes, exactly. So I mean,
Right.
it has to be like more than anything, and before the aesthetic portion of it, it has to perform. It has to be efficient. It has to have a workflow. It has to be, like if I'm working in the kitchen, I'm like, if this is in your way, then let's fix this. And then we'll get to the pretty part.
Yes.
Because there's there's like 1,000 ways to make it pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't function, then it doesn't
meaningless.
matter what
You'll
it
not
looks
use
like.
it.
Exactly. It's the whole cliche of, putting lipstick on a pig.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, it really is, because if it just doesn't work, then let's not, or if we can't get it to work, then let's not even begin.
Yeah.
Let's not even begin.
No.
Let's not make a mess of your house, because it won't matter. It won't matter if it looks nice if it just doesn't work.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
And Habitation stopped selling uncomfortable furniture. For a while, I was literally like, that's freaking gorgeous. Let's bring that in. But you know what? If you're not going to enjoy being in that room, if you're not going to actually, then it's just
worthless.
It's worthless.
Worthless.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. We need to take one more break, and then I'm going to push my way through to the next level of inebriation. It's Drinking the Style with Gregory Rich, Bethany Reed Peterson,
Hello.
and Leah Jones. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you see me walking down the street and I start to cry each time we meet, walk on by.
Aren't these such better covers than the versions that you're familiar with? I mean, that is some sexy singing right there.
What is this song?
Walk on by.
You don't hear those types of voices.
Oh, of course.
You don't.
Wasn't
Nobody.
this on like the Forrest Gump soundtrack? But the actual, not the cover?
Like one that was super popular on the charts.
Yes.
But these versions are, she's so sultry. I picked it because she's smoky and we're doing mezcal. Yeah, I'm going to run with that for a while.
I was like, I like how you just put that one together, Greg. And then you're like, I did it on purpose.
Exactly. It's like designers who come in. You do it as well every now and then. Yes, I completely planned that.
Of course it's planned.
All right, we are Drinking the Style. And this is Gregory Rich. We're with Bethany Reed Peterson and Leah Jones. Leah, before we forget, I do this every time because otherwise I would forget. Tell folks how they can contact you and where they can see your work.
They can contact me. They can find me on my website. It's LJ.
These are strong drinks.
The cocktails
by the way.
are working.
I
They are strong
changed
drinks.
it at the beginning of the month, and it's still not rolling off my tongue. So it's
Okay, go.
ljinteriorsmn.com. Or on my socials, it's just LJ Interiors MN. So both Instagram and Facebook, you can find me. So you can send me a DM or call me, whichever you would like, however you'd like to reach out to me. So
Fair. And I will say, if I may again toot my own horn, which is a weird expression, isn't it? I mean, on many, many levels.
Let's not think about it too much, shall we?
If you'd like to, go right ahead. That said, chances are if you put in Leah Jones, you're probably going to come up with this particular episode of Drinking the Style and, of course, your website. So
fantastic.
You are findable, and I encourage folks to check out your site.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. Bethany. Oh, Bethany. The hostess. I'm not allowed to say hostess anymore, am I?
I don't. I mean, are you allowed? Is anyone allowed to say anything anymore?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. The host/hostess, he, thee, she, them, whatever it happens to be, of Arrived podcast.
Yes.
Which is amazing. Have you started your new season yet?
I delayed the new season.
Okay.
The new season, well, so two things. New season of Arrived is dropping in the fall, in the autumn. And then
nice.
Arrived Daily, which is the week daily 15 minutes or less episode podcast, is dropping July 20th.
Oh my God, you're going to do a daily podcast?
Yeah, totally unscripted.
How are you going to drink that much every day?
I know. Do you know what? I was thinking about this, Greg, and I think I might actually do like a Saturday installment where I literally mix up a drink
Really?
on like Instagram Live, and then I just take the audio of it
That
and then
could
I
be
move
fun.
it over. Because actually be super fun. So then Monday to Friday is,
Professional.
professional.
And Saturday is heavy
professional
drinking.
Bethany.
And
And
it's
then
like
Saturday
real life.
is real life.
Who you are, your true colors.
BTS.
come out.
Exactly.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes,
Yes.
Bethany. Yeah, so
love
Arrive
it.
Daily drops July 20th.
I love
And
it.
they can, your lovely listeners, your audience, can find me at atelierread.com/DITS for Drink in the Style for a free gift.
Oh my God.
Yahoo!
Oh, that's fabulous. I'm going to check it out. I can't wait for the gift. I should also mention, by the way, habitationdesign.com. I never give that. Anyway, there it is, my friends. We have drunk our way through yet another episode on behalf of Leah and Bethany, even Johnson, frankly.
Yeah, Johnson.
I would like-
Frankly. All right.
Frankly.
I would like to wish everybody good luck this coming week. I'll quote Hunter S. Thompson. I hate to recommend drugs, alcohol, and insanity to anybody, but it's always worked for me. Good night, everybody.